How whimsical we are. Just remember what I said about the dentist. However, I call this one Millenium Moan. I've had quite enough of this millennium. I still want to live where I've been. Then to write down the date, then conclude with a year that begins with the number 19. I want to go back to the 50s. I wish I were back there again. Telephones reassuringly heavy, and holiday journeys by train. Before people thought sportswear attractive, schools and factories and bicycle sheds. You're upstairs and no form of heating. There'll be sheets and wool blankets on beds. You could have a bonfire down the garden, and there were no battery farms. And your sleep wasn't broken at 2 in the morning by rock music bass notes and car alarms. There were 10 bobs in cards for your birthday. An ice cream, a treat in a block. The shops would be all shut on Sundays, and the dresses you wore were called frocks. With margarine, only for cooking. And that nasty old war had been won, when nobody thought to go jogging, or to fear lying out in the sun. When sea lions performed at the circus, when people had no mobile phones, and whenever you got in from somewhere, your mother was always at home. And babies weren't fobbed off with nursery, and who'd ever used the word mugged? For meals, people sat at the table, and women could not change a club. When hymns could be sung in assembly, and actors were all middle class, the milk would be there on your doorstep, and your once-a-week hair wash would last. Your dinner was eaten at lunchtime, and photos and films, black and white. The shops, they had dark wooden floorboards, and bassets gave liquorous pipes. The bus always had a conductor, and lighting was never fluorescent. Oh, and kids could be children for longer, so found they'd avoid adolescence. If you lifted your face to the heavens when taking a walk out at night, you could see all the star constellations, because street lights were never too bright. Home service, light programme on wireless. It was your business if you got fat. Christmas began in December, and bad language, you seldom heard that. When most friends you knew kept a tortoise, and watches all had to be wound, and quantities needed for cooking were measured in ounces and pounds. If someone you knew owned a motor, which was fired up by using the chip, and poetry all had a rhythm and rhyme, and wherever you went, you could smoke. When nobody needed a postcode, and school kids wore berets and caps, when health food had not been invented, and you put your key under the mat, penny arrow bars, spangles, and hair drops, then Omo would get the clothes clean, Goya and Gala cosmetics, and a lovely princess was crowned queen. The postman delivered at Christmas, and computers were just science fiction. Doctor would do a home visit, and announcers all had perfect diction. When library tickets were cardboard, and gentlemen gave up their seats, and rock and roll sounded exciting. Oh, and you just didn't eat in the street. Guitars, they were not heard in churches. If you ran for the bus, it would wait. The co-op would give you a divvy, our number 40348. A fountain or dip pen to write with, loads of jobs down the labour exchange. England kept winning at cricket, and if someone was queer, that meant strain. Your bike, you would now need to lock it, and each evening had children out playing. And then, when you went to the pictures, you could hear what the actors were saying. In the 50s, we had proper dustbins and got our mail orders from garages. Men wore collars and ties to do gardening, and no one tried suing for damages. Yes, then off on a trip to the seaside, and an afternoon shopping in town, 3-course slap-up meal in a restaurant, and would still be changed from £5. But would I return to the 50s? It's all very well looking back, but some things, in retrospect, they are diffused with a rosy glow, and we do that. But some things, they haven't been bettered, and stand by now, the language gets stronger. In the 50s, 4 blackjacks